Anytime we have a full moon, it's an illumination of something that we haven't seen before. And this week, we have a Scorpio full moon. That'll be this Saturday, May 18th. And it has, well, Scorpio always has an intensity about it. But this one is full of concentrated effort, determination, and downright obsession about getting to the bottom line, really getting to the root of things. Because Scorpio is the energy of the sleuth, of the great detective, and you can expect that this week there's going to be a lot of attention paid to, well, not maybe just our leaders, but to the concept of leadership. And so obviously within yourself, you're asking this week to show in what way you can be that messenger of love and light in this world in the most effective way. Welcome, I'm Judith Royal. I'm an archetypal astrologer, and this is your astrology weather forecast for the week of May 13th to the 19th. 2019. So I have a grandson with a big dog, and I love to go with him to walk her on the beach. She's so enthusiastic about the frisbee that he's going to throw for her that he has to hide it under his jacket until the very moment that it's time for her to chase it. You watch this dog have such concentration, such incredible determination. We could even say she's downright obsessive about it. And also, she's stubborn. She does not share it, and she never wants to give up. And those are the kind of energies, the vibes that we're receiving right now. Plus, there are some colorful archetypes on the world stage being activated in us that are going to help us with this detective work under this illumination of the Scorpio moon. The energy for this week in the tarot is a number 5, and so it is the teacher, the spiritual wisdom of a very good teacher. So I think it's calling up, well, first of all, our detective work should be around what the ego is up to, and always that is some form of fear, usually showing itself as, doing something out of guilt rather than doing it out of your authentic self. So when there is chaos and conflict, running around the energy of it as we have in our world now, the ego is loving to be able to get an upper hand because, when we listen to our true selves, it's a much quieter voice, is it not? Sometimes, it even is like a whisper. So the call is to always stop, pause in peace, and then act from the awareness of what you're told, what you're guided towards during that peaceful interval. So you yourself are this great spiritual wisdom. You are here as a teacher. We wouldn't be talking about all this together if that weren't true. You're aware of it. Everyone in the world could be this teacher, but not everyone has answered that challenge. But you have. Help comes Monday and Friday for this work because there will be these beautiful wake-up calls to the powerful Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, but it's coming in a way that we can really use it because it will be very clear, considering it's Scorpio's deep waters. It will still be intense, but not in any difficult way. So Monday, we are starting off with the moon still in down-to-earth Virgo, and we will have that through Tuesday morning. And then Mars Day, Tuesday in the afternoon, a graceful Libra moon comes in and says, let's balance these scales of justice and fairness. And we have that energy with us all the way through Thursday in the early afternoon. Now, Wednesday is, I think, the day that we're going to have to stay very light on our feet because we have the most shifts and changes that day. They're going to be very beneficial, well, one more than the other, but you will feel they're very different energies. Because on Wednesday, Venus is leaving Aries, where she's really too flirtatious. She does fall in love at first sight, but she doesn't have any staying power, really, for the relationships. So Venus goes into Taurus on Wednesday, and she loves being in Taurus. It's ruled by Venus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so we have 4 weeks ahead of the goddess of love, down to earth, yes, but in the way that your relationships will have not just longevity. Saturn is actually needed more for that, but rather practicality. You'll love to be in the relationship because of the sense of safety that 2 by 2 can always bring. So Venus in Taurus will also bring the good things of life. And so since Uranus, the god of lightning, quick changes out of the blue, is already waiting for her, then Venus is going to catch up with that god of lightning for this for this Scorpio full moon. And that is effervescence, that's sparkle, that is the refreshment of your relationship because it is new love. So if you don't have a relationship right now, a partner, then this very likely can bring one. But also, if you are in a relationship that maybe has gotten a little dull or it needs a new breath of life, then this Venus with the god of lightning is going to bring that for you. And our relationships, including the relationship we have within with ourselves, takes on a new vitality that is characterized by freedom. Also on Wednesday, Warrior Mars, which is the yang energy we have to go out into the world and get what we want. So it's very active. But Mars has been in Taurus, and he didn't wait for Venus, really, because she just moved there, and he's moving on to Cancer. Now, this puts that warrior underwater, and that is not his favorite place for action. However, it does bring him more sensitivity to the needs of others than he might ordinarily have. He doesn't get to the point of being downright nurturing. However, we can understand with this energy, which will be with us until the beginning of July, that it is time to stop fighting everyone and everything and relax into that freedom from conflict that is the very nature of happiness and joy. And so, therefore, it is the very nature of love and of peace. Thursday, we're going to feel much more clear-headed. We've already been focused, right? We already have a fabulous sense of concentration. And now we have the reason, the clarity of thought that is going to be coming to us because Mercury is going to be in a great relationship with Sheriff Saturn. So our thoughts are organized. That's very good news. And also on Thursday, which remember, this is the Thanksgiving Day, the Gratitude Day, ruled by Jupiter. So on around 2:30 Pacific Daylight Time, in the afternoon on Thursday, that's when the moon will move into Scorpio, and she'll be there in Scorpio all the way until mid-afternoon Saturday when the full moon is there. And we won't leap into the Sagittarius moon's adventurous energy until evening on Saturday. And that Sagittarius energy on Sunday is really going to be about nothing but play and adventure, because it really is a day of rest, because we have absolutely no astrological aspects on that day. So take a deep breath and have a nap. So it's an opportunity to let your thinking and yourself go right side up from upside down, because most of the world is operating upside down. For example, if you think the world out there looks to be in a great deal of conflict, and I guess there's some logic that would say during conflict, you better get your weapons ready. You better prepare to fight. But if you get that right side up, the fact that there might be conflict in the world around you is the call for you to be at peace. But that doesn't mean we, lay around in a hammock all the time doing nothing. Actually, it means almost the opposite, because your strength, our true strength, is the love that is within us. And so we really gain in our strength to make very good decisions, because we're choosing a guide of peace and love. And then from those decisions, I always find that I have much more dedication to my actions than I would have if I had just sort of quickly and impulsively decided to do something. Plus, using the light of love as my vision, I can look with fixed determination for the good in others, knowing, the body that we walk around in is only a shadow around the good and the love that we are. I have to say, it is a challenge to practice being a love finder rather than a fault finder. It's a challenge for me because my ego's loud voice loves to be right. And so in order to be right, that voice that I was listening to most of my life is that in order for that to happen, then I have to judge things, and I have to judge what is right and what is wrong. And I have found that that is an absolutely endless and futile train of thought, and certainly not the basis for any coherent action. So when I pause in peace and choose for love to be the energy that I look at the world with or through, I'm reminded of one of my cherished, wonderful spiritual teachers, Jerry Jampolsky, and he wrote this past year an article in which he said he was very challenged in this very thing when Trump was elected. And so he made a practice of watching certain TV interviews he gave or something, or reading the headlines and being neutral. That is, not judging it good or bad, certainly not judging the person good or bad, but rather just watching that, like all of us, he is playing his role perfectly on the world stage. And so am I, and so are you. And even though a lot of the time it doesn't really make much sense to me, including my own acting on the world stage, I don't worry about that as much anymore, because, there is such a subjective perception that I have about what you do, about what anyone does, including myself. And I trust, or at least I try to trust, that there is the spirit of love that is much more objective, even more objective than the Capricorn mountain goat on the top of K2. Love and the spirit of love is that universal eye of wisdom that sees the big picture that I'm simply not privy to. And this can give all of us, this gives us such hope, such joy, because, trust me, love wins. So thanks for listening, and you can always reach me at just email Judith at judithroyal.com. Bye for now.